Had to follow her. All right, I got quite a few notes written down. I'm going to follow the best I can. So my name is Joey Madden. I'm the largest landowner in Brighton, Indiana. One of the largest landowners in Dearborn County. I own properties, all the Brighton Avenue properties that are in this proposed district. I'm an industrial real estate developer, not in Brighton, quite the opposite, but I've been involved in numerous TIF projects, benefited from multiple TIF projects. A couple of issues with this proposal. First off is that the TIF district, if it's going to be approved, there has to be extremely strict development restrictions placed on these parcels. Whether it's a PUD or a corridor that is overlaid on the district, it has to happen. If there's no fighting, it's going to happen. There has to be these restrictions put on these parcels. And I think there needs to be strict regulations on how it looks and what the end use is. That has to happen. We talk about the infrastructure in Brighton, the roads in Brighton, and many of the roads in Brighton that are not main roads. The reason that they're in such bad shape is because many years ago the developers did not finish their work. They were not held accountable, and now we're suffering some of that. But some of it's part of living in Brighton. Kind of hit a pothole every once in a while. It's Brighton. We're good with it. We like it. But very little infrastructure issues that we're having, and you can talk Listerman and contest this. It's not because of the vehicle traffic. It's just because of when the developers installed these roads years ago, they did them very subpar, and now it's an issue. I don't disagree that they would be used and being fixed, but at the same time, they're not that bad. But the biggest thing, an increase in infrastructure in this, and it's talking about increasing infrastructure, will result in only one thing, and that is an increased traffic amount of Brighton. We don't want it. There's no easy way. There's no easy way to Brighton. There's no fast way to get to Brighton. And that's for a reason. We want our flashing four-way stop. Except for you, I'm sorry. We don't want anything more. We got a UEF, we got a skyline, we're in good shape. But if the development is inevitable, then it has to be extremely, extremely restricted. And I mean extremely. While the tax revenue, it does sound great, the only thing that Brighton really needs from an increased tax base is we need full-time fire in the EMS. That's what it is. Bright's a lot bigger than people realize, and we need that desperately. And I think going back to what she had said before me, all this effort that we're putting into creating this TIF district, I do feel like it would be much better suited for the county to begin looking at incorporating Brighton, or creating a village or township. A township would be a lot easier because then they can have the county still handle the majority of the zoning and building and things like that, but Brighton still be in control. But we ultimately be able to be separated from Warrensburg and Dearborn County. But all of us here, everybody here, that live in Brighton, we live here to get away from everything.
Amen.
And we don't want to bring it here. And I know it's not your guys. I know why we're here is.
But I would like to respond to
Yeah.
something you said, because there's a lot of things you say, everybody agrees with. Number one, restrictions on use of property. We can't do that. That's what I.
Correct, but it needs to be, the condition
That's
is
fine.
clear.
And we have dealt with issues where we could. So I'm from another level. We've got this thing, a housing thing. And what it took was for us to provide a little road into a place that it wasn't going to be possible to build until we did. You know what else we did? In return, we got something back. we helped design those houses, even to the pitch of the roof. And we made the builders agree to that, or we weren't going to build the road. And you can do things like that with TIF. But we don't intend to come in here and build anything. Other people are going to do that, and we can't stop them from doing it. I mean, somebody buys a piece of land and is zoned to build something, and they can build it. I wish we could, and I agree with you. You want good stuff to be built where you are. You don't want traffic that we can't stop it. I remember, I was right in 1947. I was 9 years old, maybe something like that. And life was a different place. Boy, people
Tell us about it.
And say this is like downtown Cincinnati. Things change as time goes by. And I agree with you. We're all here because we want to get away from the hustle and bustle of downtown Cincinnati. Fire protection, you're darn right. And we all need it. And every place in this county having a problem with it right now, and it's driving the commissioners crazy. And you talk about incorporating, you have to do it. The county doesn't incorporate it, you do. It's that the people of this town, if you want to incorporate, my little county incorporated in 1830. Went down to the county recorder and said, we want to record this town. And at that time, the town was called Hopewell. Well, they didn't have any money. And the county recorder said, I'll record it free if you let me name your town. And I was named somebody else named after him. And that's how we did it in 1830. And yeah, it was General James C. Gillis. General War 1812. The county recorder. And he did that. So you can do that. And I wish we would, in my opinion. But my opinion is not important, but if I lived it right, I agree with you, and I would try to do something.
But I think more than that, this commission's job and duty to present a report of how this meeting goes, that needs to be at the top of the list. That if this is not viable, if it's not something if it's going to happen regardless, those restrictions need to be put in place. And it's what the people want. That's why there's hundreds of people here, because this is what we want. But we saw that the growth being inevitable. It is to a point, but it doesn't have to be. And ultimately, the reason we're here is to get away from everything. You know, when I'm in Westchester or Florence, or I'm in Cincinnati, I drive home and I turn on State Line Road, my blood pressure drops. I'm going home. And if we incorporate Brighton in another town, like with tons of business, and that, number one, it's just going to make infrastructure horrible. Absolutely horrible. Our infrastructure cannot take anymore. But I just added about the restrictions on the zoning, but also make notice that maybe they can help us out with how we can incorporate.
We can do some things and some things we can't do. And I wouldn't argue with any of the things you said. I really understand what you say right now. We started right at one finish. And because they weren't finished, they were not turned out in the county. We maintain on the snow and all that. So somebody takes care of it. And our effort is to come in and help with those kinds of things.
Right. But at the same time, though, I think I would agree, it's not that bad. It's part of right. It's just part of right. But you know, more than that, and that's I know I'm out of time. My biggest thing is in all this is that with this development, more development comes increased traffic, increased use for infrastructure, and ultimately it will lead to an I-74 connector. And I will fight it until the day I die. It's not going to happen. And
Me too.
I know it's not your guys' job, but it's something that you need reports that you guys are doing. This needs to be documented and going to Nicole and Dina and the commissioners and saying this is what the concerns are. And then I think they have a follow meeting of how they plan to address these issues because these are major concerns.
Dwayne is right. County Commissioner to be? Yes. So enjoy it.
They've just been kind enough to let you go way over.
I appreciate it.
You must be friends.
Actually, no. I do like the scout.
Okay.
Thank you.